Okay, guys, I just figured I'd do an evacuation update and let you know what's been going on. Okay, so I've got my little notes right here. One of the things I wanted to address at the start is if you haven't been able to keep up, my husband and I are here in White House, Tennessee. When we decided to evacuate, it was based on the fact that I've recently had back surgery, and although I'm progressing well, I'm still not 100%, so he felt like it would be safer for me to to evacuate, and also because we had family in Tennessee, it would be a good time to touch base with them. As it turned out, where we live in Georgia, it's on the southeast coast near the Golden Isles. We were relatively spared on the most part. I still haven't gotten an assessment on how bad the damage was there, but from what I understand, my little corner of the world is, except for losing power, it's relatively undamaged. But I'm still praying for my friends in South Carolina, North Carolina, and other parts of the East Coast until we know for sure what Dorian's going to do and where it's going to go from here. Okay, one of the reasons we came, like I said, came to Tennessee is because my husband has family here. Once we found out that we probably weren't going to get the full brunt of Dorian down in our home, where we live, then, it felt a little bit like maybe we left for no reason, etc., etc. But I still had the feeling we needed to come. And as it turned out, while we were here visiting with his dad and sister and nieces, nephews, etc., we found out that his dad had a checkup for his heart and everything. Yesterday we found out that he went to his checkup, and from there they sent him by ambulance to Nashville, and this morning, as I speak, they are doing a quintuple bypass on my father-in-law. So any prayers, positive thoughts, healing energies that you guys are willing to send our way to help him through this, it would be much appreciated. So that's one thing. If there is a bright side to this, it's that my husband is finally getting to meet his brother, technically half brother, but family is family. Finally getting to meet him for the first time, face to face. They've been in touch, through the years when they reconnected and everything. He still has a sister, Crystal, in California, and if you happen to see this, know that you're being thought of. But yeah, it's nice that my husband gets to reconnect with his family, although I know he wishes it were under much different circumstances. He also got to reconnect with a couple of friends from high school. Same deal. I'm glad he's able to do that. I wish the circumstances were different as far as the health of his father. But I don't know how people feel about signs from the universe. It's something I believe in, just as I believe in a higher power. When we first arrived here in Tennessee, and the hotel, as we were coming upstairs, I found a little feather. And yes, this one's a small feather, but I have found that in my life, especially over the past few years, every time I find a feather, as opposed to buying one, or being given one, if I find a feather, it almost always indicates a positive change that's coming into my life. Now, the fact that this is a very small feather may or may not have any impact on the change itself. But the fact that I found the feather, I do believe means that we are going to have a positive change in our lives. Let's see what else. Luckily, my husband works for a company that he is able, even though it's a resort company, I would say he works on St. Simon's Island, and I don't know if it's okay to mention the name of the business. I'll just say it's a resort business. But he loves his job. He loves the company he works for. He loves the people he works with and for. I mean, it's his dream job at this point. Makes decent money, not high stress at all, and his boss is like a really good person who works with him. Anytime when things have come up, like my surgeries and things like that, and it may be able to be worked out to where he's not going to take a great hit on the days off because of when the company was closed, and also from being us being out of town. So we may not have the negative impact, as much negative impact as we were expecting from him having to take time off. The travel itself, he drove for 10 hours. And while it wasn't physically rough on me, not really, not as bad as I expected, emotionally, I am a control freak to a certain extent. I am an anxious driver. I'm an even worse passenger. I don't know if it's the control factor or what, but I just get really stressed out when someone else is driving. And when you add in the roads here, which I haven't driven on roads in hills for a very long time, and so these sheer drop-offs and the winding roads and the hilliness of the country and everything has been kind of stressful for me. I'm a flatlander. It's been a long time, like I said, since I've lived outside the coast, so yeah, I had to do a little walkabout yesterday to burn off some energy. And luckily the area is nice. Where our hotel is, there's like a plethora of fast food and businesses within walking distance if I needed them when husband is busy doing other things, like this morning at the hospital, which is exactly where he should be. I would be there with him, but the policy for this hotel is, dogs are welcome here, and I've got both my fur babies with me here, but they have to be attended to at all times. We can't leave them alone in the room. And this also gives him a chance to be with his family without having to worry about looking after me. So that's a good thing, because they need his attention and his focus and his energies at the moment. I'm doing fine. So, okay, there's a couple other things I wanted to talk about. Let's see. I wanted to share a story, and like I said, most of you know my personal beliefs on faith and higher power and things like that. I am not a religious person by nature. I do believe in a higher power. I have seen evidence to my satisfaction that there is a higher power that is watching over me and loved ones, and that things happen for a purpose, both good and bad. That for whatever reason these bad things might happen, in the long run there's a purpose to it, and the impact in our lives is meant to be. Okay, that being said, many years ago, I believe my oldest daughter, who's now 37, I believe she was around 6 or 7 at the time, maybe 8. If my memory weren't so bad, I'd be able to tell you the year and everything. But there was a significant earthquake at the time that was heading in our direction. And she was getting a little stressed out by it. And there was nothing, I was listening to the news and the weather on TV and everything. This is way before cell phones were as prevalent as they are. But anyway, she was getting really stressed out from hearing all this, and finally, I said, well, I don't know what to tell you to make you not be afraid. I'm sure I didn't phrase it that way. Basically, I wanted to try to help reduce her stress, didn't know how. So I remembered something that I think my mother had told me, that God listens to children's prayers first. Well, whether that's true or not, I don't know, but this is what I told my daughter. God listens to children's prayers first. So she sat at the table, I remember at the kitchen table, and she prayed that the hurricane would turn. And as it did turn out that the hurricane did not impact us severely at the time, but it did make a turn, and it was pretty devastating to North Carolina. And my daughter, being who she was then upset because she felt like she should have been more specific and had the hurricane turn out into the sea or the ocean, Atlantic Ocean, and that she felt bad that she hadn't asked God to keep it away from North Carolina as well. This is typical of her. She got stressed out about something, she tried to find a solution, and then she felt badly because somebody else had the impact. But the real point of my story was that we don't know for sure what power that thoughts and prayers have. I know what I believe. I believe that positive energies, healing thoughts, prayer, I believe no matter what religious faith you have, that putting these things out into the universe has a positive impact. Your intentions have impact, whether they're positive or negative. I've heard some people say that thoughts and prayers are useless. It especially annoys me when it's someone who has a significant following and they put that out there. Thoughts and prayers mean nothing. Actions are the only thing that means something, because I do believe thoughts and prayers do matter. If for no other reason than someone knows that you're taking a moment to think of them, to try, to put something positive out into the universe on their behalf. So, I respect the fact that some people don't believe in a higher power, or they believe in a different higher power or a different type of power than I do. I have no issue with that. What I do have an issue with is someone who doesn't believe as others believe. For instance, I know some people who are atheists. That's their thing. I don't criticize them for being an atheist. But when you are so blinded by your personal belief that you attack and target other people because of their personal belief, calling Christians and other people stupid and mindless, and if you get hateful because someone believes in something that you don't, to me that's ridiculous. That's showing your lack of faith in your belief system if you have to make someone who is different a target. Because if you were secure in your belief system, you wouldn't be threatened by what someone else believes. It wouldn't be a problem. It would be just a difference of opinion. So in this time of crisis, for people in the Bahamas, for people on the east coast of the United States, for other people out there who are facing different struggles, and challenges. Please take a moment, if you are an atheist or someone who doesn't believe as others do. If you want your beliefs respected, please try to respect other people's as well. And know that when some random person like me is sending thoughts and prayers to someone I've never met but have connected with on Facebook or YouTube or something, please don't be critical of something like that. You never know if the person receiving these thoughts and prayers might be comforted by that fact. Please don't go in and start criticizing someone and saying that thoughts and prayers don't matter, because maybe they do to the person receiving them. And we don't know what energies and power are out in the universe that control things, and even if they don't control things, but just impact things. So please keep that in mind, that somebody might need to hear that they're in someone's thoughts and prayers. It could be that we are influencing something for the better by sending out positive thoughts and prayers and energies and all that. Why put negativity out there? Even if the positivity isn't working, why put negativity out there? So I'm just going to leave that there for now. I'm going to try to touch base again. As you can tell, I still don't have my full voice back. And my brain doesn't seem to be working as well as I'd like it to. But I'm 57 years old. It's not going to work like it did when I was 30. So if you're in the path of the hurricane, I am sending thoughts and prayers for you sincerely. And we will be, know that the country is watching, and that there are people out there who will do what they can to help when all this is done. For the people that have already been impacted by Dorian, there are many of us who aren't in a financial position to do much, but if each of us does a little, it all adds up. Pennies make dollars. 2 or 3 pennies may not sound like much when you need $100, but if enough people pinch in their pennies together, you will eventually get those dollars. It's symbolic, but you know what I mean. But it's also true, actually true. So, in closing, I will just say, for those of you who do have personal beliefs and faith, do send your positive thoughts and prayers and healing energies out to those who are most in need of them right now. For those of you who don't believe in these things, like I said, at this time, you don't have to agree with all that, but don't be pessimistic and negative about it, please, when there's so many people who are hurting and damaged and trying to recover from damage. Just let people have a chance to heal. Let people have a chance to recover. So, like I said, if you have already been in the path of Dorian or about to be in the path of Dorian, some of us are out there sending the positivity that we can. Know that the universe is trying to balance, but hopefully not at your expense. Anyway, that's all. I'm going to leave it here because my brain is fogging over again. But for those of you who have been concerned, I'm doing well. Little side note to my friend Noah, who is in Nashville. If you see this, I would have liked to have said hi to you and your wife and maybe had dinner or something like that. But, with the family emergency coming up and everything, I didn't even try to touch base because I knew we probably wouldn't have the opportunity. But we will be coming back up here, hopefully by the end of the year, for another visit. So if you'd like to connect and touch base, just get in touch. And my friend Bernie in North Carolina, or South Carolina, I'm sorry, I can't remember at this point. But Bernadine, you know who you are. You know, you're in my thoughts and prayers, girl. Hit me up if you need me. And Amber, congrats. I'm glad you had a successful Dragon Con. Glad you're home relaxing. And maybe on one of our trips we can connect, have dinner, chill out, reconnect. Anyway, love you guys. Thank you for your support. If you'd like, hit the like button. Leave me a comment letting me know what you'd like to hear me talk about next time. What you think I should or should not have said in this video. You know, just give me some feedback, positive or negative. I love constructive criticism. And even if it's not necessarily done nicely, I take it into account. I'm not going to respond to the negativity. Alright, well, I love you guys. I'm thinking of you guys back home. We'll be home soon. Thank you for looking out for our property and our cat. And we're all fine, and we're going to be heading home soon. Alright, talk to you guys later. Love y'all. Be safe. Bye.